Senators in both parties grilled RFK Jr. today over his lies about vaccines. The Trump administration is struggling to explain a strike on a Venezuelan boat. And on top of all that, we have to be on the lookout for radioactive shrimp now. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Donald Trump disappeared for a week, and everyone thought he was secretly dying or something, but it turns out he was just shuffling around the White House looking paler than an uncooked turkey. Seriously, I'll put the turkey in the same clothes. You tell me which one looks healthier. But the point is, I missed that week. That week was so peaceful. Food tasted better. I could hear birds again. But now he's back to saying something every day that's completely detached from reality, like Tuesday, when he threatened to blow up boats that are thousands of miles away if he thinks they have drugs in them.
We just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that, and you'll be reading about that, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from.
Why is he so hazy on the details? He sounds like a stoner trying to remember the plot of Scarface. There's, like, drugs and, like, a boat. He's got this little friend, but the little friend is shy, so you have to say hello to him. It's like a really big deal for him that you say hi to him. You know, he got an hour-long briefing in the Situation Room full of technical details about the operation, and all he remembers are the words drug and boat. He has the brain of a child reading a Richard Scarry book. There was a car, there was a truck, there was a boat. There was a suspicious worm and an apple on wheels, and we blew him up. The apple was full of drugs. Why else would he be smiling like that in morning traffic? But this is why Trump is so maddening. He just hops around from stuff as important as threatening an illegal war with Venezuela to dumber topics like food in D.C. Yesterday, he claimed he was single-handedly responsible for saving the restaurant scene in the nation's capital.
If you look at Washington, D.C., 3 weeks ago, restaurants were dying. Nobody wanted to go out. They didn't want to be attacked. They didn't want to be mugged. They didn't want to be attacked even in the restaurant. And you take a look at what's happened. Friends of mine that haven't gone to a restaurant in 4 years, one of them went out 5 times in the last 2 weeks.
You have a friend who went to 5 restaurants in 2 weeks. Who's your friend, Guy Fieri? Thanks to me, all the restaurants are safe. The diners, the drive-ins, the dives. And the FDA is unveiling a new initiative. Cover all burgers with donkey sauce. We love the donkey sauce, don't we? It's sad, of course, it's sad how they have to put a donkey in a blender. I'm a little concerned that you're already upset because there's more to come. I was in the kitchen once with Guy when he was making the donkey sauce, and I'll never forget the sound it made. Oh, I wish we couldn't tell a joke, but once it's on the cue cards, there's no way out. You know it's not gonna work, but you got nowhere to go. You gotta know. Trump was also asked if he would personally visit one of these previously dying restaurants he supposedly saved, and he got weirdly defensive about it.
Will you visit a restaurant in D.C.? You haven't gone to...
I might, sure.
You haven't gone to one in either of your terms that wasn't...
How do you know? How do you know?
Because I and many other...
Do you want me to prove you wrong?
Yeah. We want you to prove we're wrong, just to see how you would go about doing that. If I never went to a restaurant, how would I have completed this maze? They said it's the best maze that was ever done. So Trump claims he saved Washington, D.C. restaurants with federal troops. But even if that's true, there's one rare delicacy you might want to skip when you're at those restaurants: radioactive shrimp.
The FDA sounding the alarm about frozen shrimp that may be radioactive. They were discovered in containers at 4 U.S. ports. The frozen shrimp is sold at Walmarts in 13 states under the brand name Great Value Raw Frozen Shrimp.
The FDA says do not eat certain bags of frozen raw shrimp sold at Walmart over concerns about radioactive material called cesium-137. The advisory applies to Great Value white shrimp sold in 13 states. And Walmart tells CNN that it's been recalled from the affected stores.
Oh, first they say MSG is bad for you, and now they're taking away my cesium 137? I always have it on my dinner table right next to the ketchup and the steak sauce. Actually, this is true. Cesium 137 is going to be one of the sauces on Hot Ones next season. I mean, they already have a hot sauce called the Bomb with a radioactive symbol on it. A thing I actually had to eat when I was on that show. Tore up my intestines, lit my mouth on fire for 3 days, and yet the FDA, nowhere to be found. Here's a question, though. What happens if you eat a radioactive shrimp? Do you get, like, shrimp powers? Follow up, what are shrimp powers? Do you just get terrible posture and big old bulging shrimp eyes? Oh, is that what happened to Rudy Giuliani? I gotta stop. I'm getting shrimpy again. I gotta stop eating my seafood from the East River. Seriously, I can't believe on top of everything else, we have to worry about radioactive shrimp now, especially since, like, just a few weeks ago, we were warned about radioactive wasps.
A radioactive wasp's nest has been disposed of after being found at a South Carolina location that once made nuclear bomb material.
The nest had a radiation level 10 times higher than allowed by regulations.
Why is everything radioactive now? Wasps, shrimp, presidents, apparently. Also, this is the first I'm hearing that there's a certain level of radiation that's allowed for wasps. Is this a new RFK Jr. initiative? Maybe that's the plan to get rid of the radioactive shrimp. Just fight them with radioactive wasps. I mean, it's at least a Marvel movie I would definitely watch. You know what would make me feel better about an era where everything we eat or stings us is radioactive? Having a functioning healthcare system. I'd feel a lot better about our food supply if the president didn't gut the FDA and USDA of fire food safety inspectors. And on top of that, their next target is vaccines, and not just COVID, all the vaccines.
Tonight, the new move by Florida to eliminate all childhood vaccine mandates in that state. Florida's Surgeon General tonight calling vaccine requirements immoral. Medical experts calling the move frightening and saying Florida is just the start, arguing this kind of move will put other children at school at risk.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has laid off 20,000 workers, slashed research into cancer and vaccines. An advisory panel that RFK Jr. handpicked plans to reconsider access to basic vaccines, things beyond COVID, like the ones for measles, mumps, rubella, vaccines that have been safely administered to kids for years.
Do you agree with that? Would you recommend the same thing to your patients?
I would definitely not have mandates for vaccinations.
Oh my God, this is awesome. I'm so excited for the return of measles, mumps, tuberculosis, typhoid, whooping cough, and rubella. I'm being sarcastic, of course, about all of them but rubella. I wouldn't mind if rubella came back, because real talk, I don't know what it is. I mean, I've heard it all these years, I don't know what it is. Rubella sounds like one of those restaurants Trump saved in D.C. Are you free at 7? I was able to get a table in Rubella. Seriously, this is insane. Vaccines are literally a medical miracle. And by the way, that includes the COVID vaccine, which is like the one good thing Trump did in his first term, and now his MAGA movement has turned on it. Even worse, they want to have it both ways. They want to praise Trump for producing the COVID vaccine while simultaneously on that same vaccine, which led to this awkward exchange during RFK Jr.'s Senate hearing today.
Do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator. That was phenomenal.
Let me ask you, but you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Wait,
that was a statement.
I did not say that.
I did not say that, Senator. My brainworm said that. His words came out of my mouth, but I am not responsible for them. That's why after I'm done today, he'll be doing a second hearing of his own. I don't think that's what brainworms look like. In an administration of nihilists and sociopaths, RFK Jr. is arguably one of the most dangerous. Studies have proven that lies about vaccines cost lives, and this guy has zero credentials. He's just an unhinged crank who talks like he's on a
lot of drugs.
This has been a closer look.